There comes a time when love feels different. Not louder, not bigger, just real. That's what happens to Gumball. After all the chaos, the jealousy, and the mistakes, this time, love finds him. This is the story of how Gumball finds love again, and what it finally teaches. It all begins in Season 3, Episode 20, titled The Shell, when Gumball accidentally cracks Penny's shell during their school play. What he doesn't know is that he also unlocks something deeper within her, an inner self that she's kept hidden.
Here we go! I'm gonna be myself!
Underneath that shell is her true form, a glowing antlered, fairy-like creature that can shapeshift in response to however she feels. Viewers may not have picked this up, but that shell means far more than just a physical hiding place. It was a symbol of her father's lifelong protection, her concealed identity, and how her transformation would eventually begin. So when it breaks, she's not just physically exposed, she's also emotionally vulnerable.
You look... What? Do I look bad? No! You look...
I look disgusting, don't I?
No, Penny, I think you look...
Don't look at me. I'm a monster!
Now, Gumball's role also changes, because he realizes he's no longer just a smitten kitten. He has to become a safe space. So, he tells Penny that whoever or whatever is underneath, he'll accept it. He doesn't flinch when she shifts into scary forms driven by self-doubt and fear of being seen as a monster.
Beck, I'm gonna have to ask you to shut up! Think about what you've done! Do you realize you were wrong?
He even stands up to her father, defends her transformations, and literally chases her down across Elmore, not to prove how brave he is, but to show her how seen and loved she is by him.
I'm not letting you leave!
Gumball, no, you get hurt!
But this wasn't the end of the story. It was only the beginning of Gumball's confusion. And maybe we'll get to find out what Gumball is actually onto in that same season, just 2 episodes later, titled The Bros. That's where we start to see where he got it all wrong. In this episode, there's a lot of tension between the 2 most important people in Gumball's life, his girlfriend Penny and his adoptive brother Darwin. At first, this tension boils up in silly, exaggerated ways. Darwin is sabotaging Gumball's date by throwing basketballs and constantly spying on Penny.
I'm gonna take some dirt on you and expose you as the treacherous bro thief you are.
Gumball, on the other hand, handles everything perfectly well. Well, until he didn't. It all began when Gumball invites Darwin into a sweet daydream scenario, talking about the perfect romantic setting with a log cabin, fireflies, a chocolate fountain, and R&B music. When Gumball names Penny and Darwin names Gumball as who they'd invite, the simultaneous confession starts the conflict. But rather than taking control of the whole situation, Gumball had to suck it up to Darwin.
Don't freak out. There's enough space in my life for the both of you.
Gumball tries really hard to affirm both his romantic love and brotherly love, without playing one off against the other. But Darwin continually tries to push Penny away from Gumball, and somehow he still lets Darwin's emotional manipulation play out.
Back off, Penny Fitzgerald! He's my brother from another mother!
In fact, Gumball himself misinterprets love not through his own actions so much as by tolerating Darwin's misbehavior. So yes, Darwin eventually gets over his jealousy and they stage a bro wedding, which eventually leads to more chaos. However, Gumball hardly sees that love requires balance, boundaries, and respect. Penny, however, showed a bit more maturity to the chaos Darwin orchestrated. Chaos after chaos, and it's still hard to answer the question, will Gumball ever learn to love the right way?
Two with hearts for eyes instead of our usual 3?
I think you might be overreacting.
You don't understand!
Unfortunately, things get even more unpredictable in the 14th episode of the very next season when Gumball tries too hard to win Penny over and it backfires. Everything starts with an emoji. Gumball is chatting with Penny via Elmore Plus, using only emojis to express himself. But when she replies with a single heart eyes emoji instead of 3, Gumball immediately panics. He jumps to the worst possible conclusion, that she's losing interest. Determined to fix it, he decides to design a treasure hunt that's as elaborate as it is misguided.
So you're saying I should make some grand gesture to remind her of happier times?
Are you doing that thing where you just hear what you want to hear?
His plan takes Penny from the mall, where locals fall dramatically at her feet, to a school bus ride that ends in a crash, to a lab where a monster sprouts from her experiment, all the way to the desert only to be led back with a badly written riddle.
Break!
That's what I said. Your beauty reduces me to tears.
Every single step he makes is meant to charm her, but it only frustrates her more. What is most striking is how Gumball transforms into someone he's not. A poet, a prankster, a puzzle maker, and an overzealous director of chaos. His intentions are sweet, but his execution is utterly batty. He's not being himself, so although Penny is genuinely in love with him, his effort completely overwhelms her.
Gumball.
Wait! Safety first!
And yet, even as disasters keep piling, Penny's allergic reaction to the ice cream, the forest full of wild animals, and the dragon transformation born from fury, Gumball just keeps pushing. He only reveals the root of it all when Penny corners him, furious that emojis are the reason for this entire meltdown. Then, in that moment, Penny tells Gumball one important thing.
Look, you need to take things a little easier, okay? By which I mean less terrifyingly intense.
Gotcha. No more marriage proposals and stuff.
And no big gestures.
Penny makes it clear that she wants less, no more over-the-top quests. So, why does Gumball keep trying? What is he really looking for? It took 2 whole seasons, but turns out Gumball eventually learned his most important lesson, that love cannot be forced. But of course, it came at a price.
Where's that music coming from?
It's just what happens when you stir a love potion.
In Season 5, Episode 16, Gumball notices Darwin staring at a photo on Elmore Plus. He thinks it's of Terry and assumes Darwin has a crush on her, so naturally, he swings into action as Cupid. Hot tip, sometimes helping actually makes things harder. Gumball also brings Carrie on board to help with matchmaking, but what he doesn't know is Carrie is hiding jealousy. She had a huge crush on Darwin. So her feelings start to overcome her, and they complicate every plan.
Sure, I'll help you.
At first, Gumball and Carrie try some harmless tactics. You know, a fake quarantine setup, some cheesy coercion, but Carrie sabotages it and tosses out the deadly soda they plan to use as bait.
It's fine. This is all for Darwin.
As they keep trying more desperate ways, Carrie finally admits she's been sabotaging things out of jealousy. She thought Darwin wanted Terry, not her, and couldn't bear it. So out of guilt, Carrie opts to help for real and crafts a love potion using Darwin's shoe, a piece of Terry, and well, her own tear. They dip arrows in it and shoot Darwin and Terry, forcing them into love. The whole thing is just quite intense, and it was super obvious that there was some magical manipulation instead of genuine connection. But plot twist, when Darwin gets ready for his date, he explains the photo Gumball saw wasn't Terry, it was Carrie. She's a ghost and can't show up in photos.
Oh, that's not a photo of Terry. It's of Carrie. But she doesn't show up on film.
Gumball's realization hit him like a rock. He wasn't just wrong, he misread the whole story because he was trying to change someone else's narrative without paying attention to the actual truth. Realizing Darwin's heart wasn't with Terry, Gumball and Carrie go into breakup mode. They attempt chaos yet again, fake cooties, forcing Alan into Terry's life, even inviting Richard in with all his gross habits. No matter how hard they try, nothing is working until Darwin naturally falls in love with Carrie again and it kills the potion's effect. All of the initial chaos was the result of trying too hard to impose love where it wasn't. to orchestrate a relationship rather than let it surface naturally. So, while it wasn't exactly his own love story, he learned that you can't manufacture love with setups or spells. You can't control timing or feelings, and you definitely can't push someone into it. Although it took quite a while, our favorite cartoon character finally figured out that love isn't always about fireworks. Sometimes it's just being there, quietly, fully, without needing anything back.